Welcome to the Main Zone. I am Jermaine. Thank you for tuning my podcast. Wherever you are, however you're listening, as always, I appreciate it. Continue to like, subscribe, share on all platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or if you're watching on YouTube, just continue to support the podcast and, just trying to grow as we're doing thus far. So, again, much gratitude. Thank you. Today's episode, all things NBA, as we're heading to the playoffs. We finally get to see some real NBA. Unfortunately, with the way the game is played today, in my opinion, we don't see great basketball until the playoffs. Guys in the league actually play hard, they give it their best effort. Refs let them play, so there's more physicality in the game. So it's going to be great to see. Before we get to that, let's do awards for the NBA, and then we give a quick shout out though to my teachers out there. Teachers, we're almost through this year. Keep up the grind. I know it's a profession that so many people are leaving now, so I just want to throw that out there for my teacher friends out there and people that are considering leaving the profession. We need educators. We need people in this field. Kids are wanting structure and want to be taught and want to be great. And unfortunately, sometimes it becomes the teacher's job to help navigate them there. So for all my teacher friends out there, we're looking at about 6 weeks left, 5.5, 6 weeks left. It's testing season. So let's get it done. Let's get it done. What y'all think about the last podcast about Will Smith? Let me know your thoughts. Unfortunately, after it came out, you saw that Jada actually threw him under the bus. So very sad. Not to spend too much time on Will Smith, but it's a man that he might need to get away from his wife. Might need some more therapy. Let's put it like that. He needs some more therapy. All right, I still got my Laker hat on. Still a Laker fan. Didn't make the playoffs this year. We could talk about that, but I don't want to be, how you watch, either Undisputed or First Take and all these shows, and for some reason they have to talk about LeBron the whole time. Well, I'm not here to do that. They didn't make the playoffs. I will say this though: when you get LeBron, and I'm not the originator of this. I got this actually from Brian Windhorst, and I actually agree with him completely. I'll put my spin on it, but I agree with him. You got a 4-year window with LeBron to win some titles. As win as many titles as you can, because within that 4 years, he's gonna gut your draft picks. He's gonna gut your roster. You can have some superstars with him, but you got to figure out how to win 1 or 2 championships. It's a hit or miss the way the Lakers constructed their team. If you listen to my preview, actually, I believe in LeBron's ability to make everything work. That I said they'd make the finals. Clearly, bad choice. They didn't make the playoffs, but a lot of it had to do with Anthony Davis being hurt, and Anthony Davis, the player, even if he's not hurt, and we'll get into that here in a second. But that's my spin. That's my take on the Lakers. You got 4 years to win with LeBron. Win all your games you can. Try to win as many titles as you can, because by the end of that, you're gonna have all veterans on your team. You're gonna have no salary cap space. You're gonna have no draft picks. So try to win. So when you think about it, the Lakers could have had on their roster right now, let's just say if you had Ingram, Lonzo, and freaking Caruso, and AD, because AD was coming over anyway, you'd have a pretty good team. So that's my analysis of the Lakers. I'm not going to talk about them again on the show. I'm not going to spend every day talking about every 2 weeks, and I come out a podcast every week talking about LeBron James. Great season. phenomenal season for year 19. On his way to reaching the all-time scoring record. But we'll see him again in October. All right. So let's get to NBA awards. They're bringing out. I was going to do this on a whole separate episode, but they're dropping them already. So I got to get this info. My take on it. Let's start with Defensive Player of the Year. They got it right. Marcus Smart got the award. Finally, they gave it to a guard. I'm tired of this. It's big, especially in the last 10 years. You can't touch a perimeter player anymore. So how is it that Rudy Gobert, who I'm going to get into him in a second, ends up with all these Defensive Player of the Year awards, and he's just anchoring a defense. He's grabbing a bunch of rebounds. Smart, guys like Mikal Bridges, Tony Allen in his day, Bruce Bowen back in his day, PJ Tucker. These guys are guarding elite wing guys, 9 in, 9 out. This is what they do. So it's very different than just saying, okay, he anchors the best defense in the league. He's a center. So big ups for Marcus Smart. He's from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, winning that award. Coach of the Year, you got to go with Monty Williams. Guided the Suns to the league best record, but also navigating through the injury of Chris Paul. So Monty Williams is my Coach of the Year. 6 man, easy. Tyler Hero. I don't think there's Kevin Love you might have thrown out there as an option. Tim Hardaway Jr. was going to be an option before he got hurt. But that's it. Tyler Hero. Jordan Clarkson, you could still claim that, but Heroes had the best season as a 6th man. Most improved, they're probably going to give it to Ja Morant, but I would go with DeJounte Murray for the Spurs. All right, so no knock on Ja Morant, phenomenal point guard, phenomenal player, but in my mind, I got to keep in knowing that the Grizzlies went something like 18 or 16-2 when he didn't play, or 18-2 when he didn't play, something like that. So I know he's the engine that makes them go, but you got to play X amount of games to be on the awards list. And I just think DeJounte stepped up his game to a whole nother level for the Spurs. So much so that they even traded Derek White, because if you think about it, they held on to White and Murray, for a while, trying to figure out probably who's going to be the better player and also who to build around. Rolling with Murray looks like a phenomenal decision by Brian Wright, and so I think they're in the right steps with Murray leading the way. So I think he should be the most improved player. Let's say Rookie of the Year. I got to go with Mobley for Cleveland over Scotty Barnes and Cade Cunningham. Again, both those guys had great seasons, but I just think Mobley, overall, once he figures out his body, he's going to be tough to deal with. And I just think he was a part of that resurgence for the Cavs. They haven't made the playoffs since LeBron left. And with him and Darius Garland there, Jared Allen, those guys leading the way, I think Mobley just helped solidify their front line, allowed them to move Kevin Love to the 6-man role, which he thrived in this year. So I would give a Rookie of the Year to Evan Mobley. The MVP, and this is hard. If there was any a time where you could say, let's have co-MVPs, this might be the season. Now, Giannis, can't go with him, but he didn't have a step back in winning the Finals MVP and not having a great year this season. Still a great season. Luka had a great season. You gotta give him props, man. Luka's leading the Mavs. You gotta give him props. But my two I'm going with, I'm gonna pick here in a second. I'm still even contemplating it. It's the Joker, Jokic, playing for the Nuggets, and then Joel Embiid for the 76ers. Now both, if you think of their stat lines, phenomenal. Embiid is the first center to lead the league in scoring since Shaq over 20 years ago, or roughly, over 20 years ago. Jokic is the first player ever to score 2,000 points, have 1,000 rebounds, and 500 assists in a season. So these guys are both statistically impressive. But then you have to think about overcoming adversity. Embiid had to overcome the shortcomings of not having Ben Simmons for much of the beginning of the season. And then he got traded, and you had to acclimate James Harden to the squad. Then you have Jokic, who had to overcome the loss of Jamal Murray, who hasn't played all year. Also the loss of Michael Porter Jr., who basically has missed half the season. So he's been like your point forward, your center, guard, everything wrapped in one, leading his team in every category you could imagine. So for me, man, I would go with, I like Embiid, man. I like Embiid. But I would say Jokic should be back-to-back MVP. But if the league gives it to Embiid, I'm not going to be mad. It's hard. I would go co-MVP if you're going to just make me pick one. I would say the Joker. But I believe both had great seasons. If you give it to either one of them, I won't be upset. So that's my awards. Let's throw some comments out there. Tell me if you agree, if you disagree. If you disagree, why? I'd love to debate, if you could throw some comments out there. Now, before I move further with my picks for the playoffs, that's what this was about, my playoff picks. Number one, I forgot to say this a second ago, but big ups to Oakwood University. They had their alumni weekend this past weekend, but also for the fact that their athletic program has moved into the ranks of NAIA. That's phenomenal for the university. That's phenomenal for the sports program. As when I was there, 18, 19 years ago now, we were just an independent team just playing schools. So it's great to see that they've made the right steps to get an NAIA conference. So big up to the university for that. Now, going back to the league. Before I give you my picks for the first round, second round, all that, let's talk about some players. Okay. Rudy Gobert. All right, this, again, my opinions. First, I'm going to start with saying this. When I analyze a player, I'm not meaning any disrespect to the individual. I'm just giving my opinion on their ability to play, even though they are the top 1% of their profession. I was having this discussion with a buddy of mine, Donnie Bedney, and it's like too often we will criticize NBA players or saying, man, this guy's not that good or this guy's not that good, not realizing that if they walk in any gym in America, they'll probably become the best player in the gym. I was listening to something Andre Iguodala, who plays for the Warriors, said. He was playing his son. He was just hitting shot after shot after shot. And then he was like, bro, I'm nice. Like, I'm in the league. Like, I'm not going to miss. The difference between, and this is him, and I agree with him, the difference between a superstar in the league, like a Kyrie, and Jalen Brunson, who had a great game tonight, by the way, but it's like that. It's not very big. Like these are the best of the best. But when I talk about, when I'm talking about Rudy Gobert, even Ben Simmons and Anthony Davis and John Wall, like these guys have either bad contracts, only play once, can't score, or can't stay healthy, and I don't think are dedicated. But then that ruins teams because you're paying these guys max dollars, and they're not even either not on the court or you can't play them in crunch time. If you think about Rudy Gobert, the Jazz, great ran organization. They have a great owner. They have a great coach in Quinn Snyder. But your best player is Donovan Mitchell, who I think on the championship team is your second or third best player. but he's your first best, which is great, phenomenal talent. But now your second best player, or the guy you're paying the second most, is Rudy Gobert, and he can't score to save his life. And then once the playoffs start, when teams actually match up, what are you doing? You can't play. They're not paying you $35, $40 million to grab 15 rebounds. Sorry. And not score. Like, the NBA game in the regular season, playoffs are so different that certain guys you're wasting your money by giving it to them, by maxing them out. If you look at Anthony Davis, not even to go back on the Lakers, but it's like, when has he proved that he's a hard enough worker to last a season? Never. If you even take the title season that they had during the COVID year, if the COVID never shut down the league, they probably don't win the title because he probably is not even healthy. Let alone the fact they could have played their home games wherever and all that kind of stuff. The fact is, he just can't stay healthy, right? So, like, when I was watching The Herd, and Colin gave his take on how to fix the NBA. Well, he's like, reduce the games to 68. Well, guys still aren't going to play. Even if you reduce it to 68 games, your superstars, the guys that don't want to play every night, they're still not going to lace them up. He's like, well, then you get rid of back-to-backs. I mean, it's your job, man. You're paid. KD said it, very well. I'm paid millions of dollars to play basketball. Go play. One of the best stats, I might seem like I'm rambling, but I'm not. But one of the best stats that Michael Jordan ever had was, I believe, if I remember correctly, he played all 82 games 9 times. Like, you remember back in my podcast when I just talked about the aura of Michael Jordan. But even when you think of that, like, here's a guy. And if you watch The Last Dance, he wouldn't even do this. It was like taking care of his body 24/7 like these guys do now. He's drinking a Miller Lite after a game, playing golf all day, not sleeping. These guys are like, yeah, I need optimal rest. I need no shoot around. I need my chef. I need da-da-da-da-da. And they still don't want to play every night. So, like take Ben Simmons. Still not playing. Hopefully be back during this season. This series with Boston. But you're paying $35 million. And guys are sitting out. Guys aren't available. So I don't know how you fix the league, other than you can't, you can't make their contracts not guaranteed. There's got to be some type of stipulation where you do your job. But all right, that's enough of that. So let me get to my matchups. First round, Miami versus Atlanta. Miami, that's gonna be an easy series. I think probably 3-1. 4-1. As gifted as Trae Young is, they're just gonna, figure out how to trap him. And the Heat just have enough. They have a lot to throw at him, a lot of bodies to throw at him, and so I'll take the Miami Heat in that series. Philly, Toronto. Toronto's built like a regular season team. In the regular season, everything's free flowing, up and down, no defense, and so they don't have like a go-to bucket getter when you need a bucket towards the end of the game, or you need a guy to just take it over. They had Kawhi the year that they won, but they don't have that now. So I would roll with, and Philly has Embiid, so that'll be it. To me, that'll be a easy series. Milwaukee, Chicago. It's a breeze. I think I got the Bucks. The Bucks gonna be tough, man, to beat. I'm kind of torn. I'll get to that in a second. But DeRozan and all those guys, great season. I think the loss of Lonzo Ball has really depleted them in the fact that I don't think they realized how much they missed him before he left, because he's not a big stat guy. He's an excellent defender, built into an excellent three-point shooter, and loves to feed guys. He doesn't have ego, doesn't want to score. I think that's an element that they're severely missing. The Brooklyn-Boston series now. Oh man, this one's hard to pick. I think the Celtics got the short end of the stick, so to speak, by getting the draw with Boston in round one. I'm gonna go with Brooklyn. If I'm gonna say this right now, if Ben Simmons can come back and be 80% of who he's supposed to be, Brooklyn wins the title. Just get that out of the way. I mean, Kyrie and KD, along with Ben, because then again, Ben could just be your center, point center. Imagine running a pick and roll with Ben coming downhill with KD setting the pick, Kyrie on one wing, Seth on another wing, and then put, what was it, Bruce Brown? Let him be your little slasher. It's going to be tough because even if they sag off of Simmons, he's strong enough to just go downhill and dunk. And if they don't sag, and they say they try to switch it, it's an easy pass to KD or Kyrie for a shot. So I'm just saying that if Ben can come back, I think Brooklyn wins the championship. All right, but out west, Phoenix over New Orleans, pretty easy. Great to see Brandon Ingram on this stage, though. It's time for people to see how great he actually is. Wish he was still with the Lakers, but great to see that Brandon Ingram made it. I think Zion needs to figure out what he wants to do. Does he really want to play? Does he love hooping enough to lose some weight so he can get out there and help the team? Dallas, Utah. The Luka injury is key, but I'm still going with Dallas. Utah's built for the regular season. They just are. Like, your second best player, you can't throw the ball to. Actually irritates me. And then, yes, the Mavericks rely on Luka so much, but he gets it done. He gets it done. So, now, again, if Luka can't play the whole series, the Jazz probably squeak this out. But if Luka's playing, I got the Mavs. It's going to take a while, but I got the Mavs. Golden State and Denver, you got to go Golden State. Jordan Poole is had a great year. Steph's going to Steph. Clay's going to Clay. And the role players just got to figure it out from there. And then we have Memphis versus Minnesota. Great first round matchup. I'm going to roll with Memphis. And then you get to the semis. Philly, Miami. I'm going to go with Miami. I think what that boils down to is coaching. And I think Spoelstra is a better coach than Doc. As far as X and O's and execution and changing things on the fly. I think they have enough bodies to throw it in Embiid. And Harden's not as quick as he once was. So I think he's going to struggle against the Heat. And then that Brooklyn-Milwaukee series, again, if Ben's playing, I got Brooklyn winning. If Ben is not playing, the Bucks win the title. Then out west in the semis, we'll have Phoenix versus Dallas. I'll take Phoenix. And then Golden State versus Memphis. And I'm going to take Memphis. And so then my next podcast, I'll give you the Western and Eastern Conference Finals and the champion. As you already know who I think my champion will be. So I think my champion is going to be the Milwaukee or Brooklyn. So that semifinal matchup, I think, is going to be what decides the championship this year. I do. Now, I'm saying all this in hopes that everybody stays healthy, everybody's able to play every game, and Luka's able to come back and perform at the high level that he has all year. If he doesn't come back, things do change. If certain guys go down, things do change. But as of right now, I think your finals will be Phoenix versus Milwaukee if Ben Simmons doesn't play. If Ben Simmons does play, I think Brooklyn versus Phoenix. And I think whoever comes out the East is going to win. So, sad, because I don't think Chris Paul, all the work he's done, I don't think he's going to get a ring again this year. But that's my take on the playoffs this year. I think it's going to be a phenomenal next 3 months. We get to finally see, again, I keep saying it, some real basketball where the mid-range is an effective shot, where when guys go to the paint, they get touched, where Referees bury the whistle a lot of times. Let the guys play. The NBA regular season is just it's a glorified 3-point shooting contest. Like I'm not bashing the league. I'm just saying that's really all it is. They're not playing defense. Just for Marcus Smart to win Defensive Player of the Year, it says how hard it is because you can't touch a guy anymore until the playoffs. The playoffs, you can hand check a little, you can guide him. You put that off arm out, you can guide him a little bit. But that's what I think. That's how I look at it. Big ups Earl Spence. Winning this past Saturday night in Dallas in boxing. For those boxing fans out there. And that's it for tonight. Let's go NBA. This is the time where the best players step up. And I'm looking forward to these series, especially when we get to that second round. I think some intriguing matchups. But as always, well, first, like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever. Just keep growing. If you have something that you'd like to have, like for me to discuss, shoot me a message on my IG page. And just keep listening, keep watching. As always, be safe. I'm out.